Hey folks, Pat that Halloween movie collector back with another video highlighting some cool stuff from my Halloween collection. This time around we're doing a different sort of physical media, one which has gained popularity. It's been coming back for the past few years. You see a lot of bands putting out cassettes. For those folks who remember cassettes, a lot of these bands are putting them out now. A lot of soundtracks as well, like John Carpenter putting on Halloween soundtracks is including availability of cassettes, because cassettes, just like vinyl made a resurgence in the last 10 years, cassettes are making a resurgence. I don't know if 8-track ever will. I'll be curious to see that. I doubt it. But cassettes have made a resurgence. But back in the day, they were one of the more popular and prime examples of physical media that you would buy when a band or a soundtrack would come out and you'd want to go out and buy it. I was always a vinyl guy. I wasn't a huge cassette guy. I did buy cassettes little by little over time, especially for this collection. I was just, and then when CDs rather came in, I was just all over CDs. But I have my Halloween collection, and some of them are pretty tough to find, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to highlight my Halloween soundtrack cassettes. So why don't we start with the OG right now? So there's several versions of the original one. My first version, I can't even show you because it is still sealed. So this is what the first version looks like. I'm trying to get a good light. There you go. There's the back of it. And it's very cool to have these old cassettes. These are starting to fetch a high amount of money. I mean, they didn't really go for a lot, but now that people seem to be interested in cassettes again, they're starting to go for a lot. So this one I picked up, it's still sealed. But I do have a version of it that's opened, so I can show you. So you open it up. This was always cool because the tape was black and it has silver on it. So that's pretty cool. Usually you see like a clear tape or a white tape and black lettering on it. This was always cool because it came in black with silver. There's no writing on the inside because this was very, economical. It does tell you the track listing on the back of the cassette. There's the spline. And there you go. That's the first version that was released of Halloween on cassette. Now, the other versions I have of the original, because I'm obsessive, I have to have all the different variants. Now, this one, let me see which one this is. This is, I believe... All right, so for those older folk like myself, do you guys remember Columbia Record Club? So they used to advertise in the back of like TV Guide or other magazines where, you get like 10 albums or however many you got for a penny. It was always a scam. You always ended up paying for all of it. I mean, you got one or two for free, but you always ended up paying for them. But when they released stuff and you got it, they would always brand it that it came out of their factory. You'd always see CRC. So if you don't know this, go look at your albums, your cassettes, even your 8-track from back in the era. You'll see a CRC mark, Columbia Record Club. So here is... So if you were to get Halloween through the Columbia Record Club, this is the version you would get. It's basically the cover of the LP with the white on top and bottom. And it's also got a white spline because all the Columbia Records releases on cassette always had that white spline. And it's hard to see right there, but there is the CRC. Maybe I'll scan this and I'll throw a better picture up there so you can see the CRC. And I believe it has it on the white tape as well. So these are white tapes. Does it have it on the CRC? I don't remember if it does or not. No, you don't see it on the tape. But they were white tapes like this, like the typical type of cassette you'd normally see. No writing on the inside. It does have the track listing on the back. And there you go. So that's the Columbia Record Club variant. So if you ever see this, pick this up because you don't see this one all that often. Then this was the one, I believe, I forget what year this was. I think it's labeled on the back. I think this was the early 80s version. Maybe it says it on the cassette. But it's just a bigger version. You get to see the artwork a little bit bigger on the cover. And it's got a clear tape, which you saw more popularized in the 80s as cassettes came out. There's the spline. Now, these were all put on Varese Sarabande records back in the day. All right, let's open it up. And inside, see, this is... Okay, yeah, this is the 80... I can't see. This is the 85 release, 1985. So there's your clear cassette. I guess I never rewound it. Side one's rewound, but side two is not. And this actually has writing on the inside, which tells you all about the film, right there, which is different than the other versions. Because as tapes got more popular, they invested more money, And especially later on in the 80s, you saw a lot of tapes that would have big giant fold outs because they put all the money into cassettes because cassettes became so popular. And that's the 85 version. Now I forget what version this is. It looks a lot like the 85 version, but I have to look and see. I believe this is right. This is the version from Japan. Yep. That's right. I completely forgot. I haven't looked at these in so long. I've had these. So this is the release from Japan. So for those who don't know, the Halloween soundtrack, the first time it was ever released was released in Japan on Columbia Records in Japan. And the soundtrack was slightly different. It actually was more along the lines of the anniversary version where they interspliced parts of the film. And the soundtrack wasn't the original soundtrack. It was done by an orchestra. So if you can get your hands on it, I'm going to do the Japanese vinyl. I'm going to do all different vinyl versions and laserdiscs little by little. But I thought this was a little out of the ordinary to do. So this is the Japanese version. And you can see it's got Japanese writing right here. It's hard to see. Let's see. It says original motion picture soundtrack, Halloween, John Carpenter on the front, which is a little different. And the tape is like a dark gray, which is pretty cool. There you go. See if it's got any other markings on here, because usually when it was in Japan, it was usually by Nippon or Columbia that released it. But I don't see that on here. But it does have, on the inside of the cover, you do see it does fold out. Like I said, as time progressed and cassettes got a little bit more popularized, they would fold out and have some more artwork. So you'd see this is the artwork. And the Japan releases of anything always had much cooler artwork than here in the States. And here's like notes from the director and the composer. So just notes from John Carpenter on the inside here and some pictures. And this release was... This is an 85 release. So they re-released in 85. The one I showed you before was the US version. This is the Japanese version. Pretty cool. See, this is what happens when you get obsessive and you collect all different variants from different places. All right, and let's see. That's all the variants I have of the original soundtrack. We just killed 6 minutes on that. All right, and now here is Halloween 2 on cassette. So it's got the familiar cover. Music composed and performed by John Carpenter in association with Alan Howarth. Now, obviously released in 1981. There is the spline. Again, released by Varese Sarabande Records. And this is where you have the version where the clear cassette started to come in. And I don't believe there's anything in here. Oh, no, there is. There's a little bit of writing in here. It just tells you about the film and other compact. Oh, this must have been a later version because it says compact discs. So this must be the later 80s version, which I didn't realize. There must be an earlier version that came out on cassette that I have to look for. So it just tells you the other things you can get on the inside. I have to get on that. I know there's a Halloween 4 version with a different color cassette that I have to get my hands on. Get to Halloween 4 in a minute, but that's Halloween 2 right there. Whoops. On cassette. I do have 2 versions of Halloween 3, simply because they changed the cover art a little bit. So here's the first version of Halloween 3 on cassette. This was a typical style that came out on MCA. You'd always have this maroon border, and it tells you about it. All the MCA cassettes back in the day had that. And same thing on the spline. And here's the track listing on the back. And the tape is white with blue lettering, which is cool because the font on the film was blue. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but that's pretty cool. All right. And on the inside, let's see what they have on the inside. And the inside is basically just an advertisement. Looks like, yeah, here are other MCA cassettes you will enjoy. So it's just a bunch of other stuff on here that we could get from MCA Records. All right. Come on, get back in. All right. Next up. Now here's your variant of the Halloween 3 soundtrack. Now it's full size on the cover of it. And the spline is... Now this is where Varese Sarabande released it. The other was the MCA release. And here's the back. This is the later version. You can tell it's got the clear cassette. There's your clear cassette on the inside. So this says, it just says 82 on it though. But it's definitely an older, a newer version than 82. Simply because you can tell by the way it's packaged. And on the inside, you have information about the film. And that is my other version of Halloween 3. And here we have Halloween 4. Music by Alan Howarth and John Carpenter. There you go. There is the spline, the typical maroon spline that you see from Varese Sarabande Records. And there's the back, same thing. And this, like I said, I have the white tape, but I know I've seen it out there in a clear tape version. So I have to keep an eye on it. Anybody's got the clear tape version, let me know. And if you're interested in selling it, I'm interested in buying it. So there's your tape. And same thing on the inside, is just information on the film. It's funny because I show these to people, something like, I didn't even know they made the Halloween soundtrack on cassette. So, oh yeah, they did. If they made it on vinyl, they made it on cassette. And here is, now this is the last film in the original line of films in the 80s that was put on cassette. Because I've never seen Halloween 6 on cassette. And let me see, I've never seen Halloween 6 on cassette. I've never seen H2O or Resurrection on cassette. Now, if anybody out there has got them, hit me up. I've never seen them. So here is Halloween 5 on cassette. Now, Halloween 5 is interesting because it wasn't released on vinyl in the States. It was released in Germany. So when we get to the vinyl, I'll show you the only one I have is the German version. But this also has all of the songs on it too. If those remember, it's not just the soundtrack. They have all those songs from like local bands, I think, out of Salt Lake City. All the songs are on here as well. So there's the back of it, which is the typical Varese Sarabande with the purple, or maroon rather. And it's got a clear tape for Halloween 5. And then the inside, it does fold out. So you get a picture of Michael right there. And it folds out. And basically, it's just information on the songs and the film. Because like I said, this had a lot of music on it. This includes all the songs that the film had. Which I always like the songs. They're fun to listen to. All right, and that's Halloween 5. So now, for those know, there was a company called Death Waltz that came out and did they did re-releases of Halloween 2 and Halloween 3. So here's the Halloween 2, and they did vinyl versions of this as well. So I'm just going to do the cassettes today. So this was always a cool cover. So this is their release of Halloween 2. Love that image. This is Halloween 2 on the side. And here is the cassette, and it's just strictly the soundtrack. I think it's just remastered. Halloween 2 and it's on a white cassette, and it's just nothing on the inside. So they came out with this version in Halloween 2, and they also came out with a Halloween 3, which I always wondered what this weird cover is. See that? And you have to turn it sideways. It's a strange cover. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And on the inside, it's a white tape with orange lettering. So yeah, so these are the Death Waltz re-releases. And I forget what year these were. Do they have a year on them? I don't see a year on them. But they were like, I think the early 90s. Mid to early 90s that they came out with these. And if you buy the vinyl versions of these, they came with posters, which were cool. All right, so now we skip ahead because, like I said, there was no other releases on cassette that I know of for Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers, H2O, and Resurrection. I've never seen them, so if they're out there, let me know, folks. But they did, John Carpenter did do a release. Oh, hold on, I did forget to get something. Oh, it's in the collection here. Hold on one second. And here it is, folks. They came out with a box set of John Carpenter's CDs from Sacred Bones. He puts all his stuff out on Sacred Bones Records now. So it came in this cool little box set, which I do not have opened. It comes with John Carpenter's Lost Themes 2, his anthology, which is fantastic. If you don't have anthology, get it. And Halloween Original Motion Picture Soundtrack for 2018. So this is what it looks like. I've never opened it. I just kept it because I really no need to open it because I have everything on CD to listen to. But it's got some cool artwork with John Carpenter on it. There's the image from Halloween 2018. Tells you what's in it. Tells you John Carpenter. So yeah, I almost forgot about this. So this is where my cassette version of 2018 is. It's in here. I don't have it on a single version. Because from there we go to Halloween Kills on cassette. So they put this out on Halloween Kills. I never opened it up. No need to. It's got a white tape. It says Halloween Kills. You can see it on the inside. And there's your spline. So these versions are all on Sacred Bones now. They don't do them on Varese Saraband, which I don't even know if Varese Saraband records even exist anymore. There's that. Then you go right there to Halloween Ends on cassette. Like I said, you can still, I think you can still get these all on the Sacred Bones website. I'm not sure. There's a spline, so they all match. They all look neat when they're displayed. Now this has a black tape on it, which is pretty cool. And then this came out. Now this is John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies. This here is a mixtape that you got. I forget what you ordered. Hit me up in the comments if you remembered. When you ordered something through Sacred Bones for one of the John Carpenter specials, you got a mixtape, which is basically just different cuts from the 3 releases, the trilogy. And there's the tape in there. So yeah, it says a mixtape by John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies. So there's that. It's pretty cool. I've never listened to it. Never really had the desire because I have it all on CD rather. So yeah, so it's pretty cool to add. And it came with a special package deal. I don't remember what the hell it was, to be honest with you. I have so much stuff. And the only other cassette I thought I'd throw out there is the one that came out just this past year, John Carpenter's Lost Themes Noir. I got on cassette. I have it on CD so I could listen to it, but I did buy the tape version along with it just to add to the collection. And folks, that is my Halloween soundtrack collection. Do you have any of these in your collection? Let me know. Hit me up in the comments. Do you have any of the ones in the collection and I don't have? Like I said, are there any other variants out there? I don't know of any other variants on the OG, but I'd love to find out if there is another one, and I'd get it on it all over the place, man. I'd love to know if there's cassette versions of Curse of Michael Myers, which I've never seen. They do have the soundtrack on CD, because I do have that. They do have soundtracks on CD for H2O and Resurrection, but I've never seen any of them released on cassette. If they're out there, let me know, because I'm interested in them. And if you're enjoying this content, I'm going to keep putting out some more where I'm just highlighting certain things from my collection. If you see anything behind me, by all means, hit me up. I'll be happy to do a highlight on it. And what helps to find more of you Halloween fans is by hitting that like button. Pushes it out to more Halloween fans and collectors in general. Love to interact with Halloween collectors, just collectors in general. I love seeing people's collections. It's awesome. Whether you collect Friday the 13th or you collect Chainsaw Massacre stuff, anything in the horror genre, I want to see it. So, and if you're just tuning in, consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't hurt. Love to hit that 3,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. It'd be a lot of fun. And have a big celebration. Maybe do some giveaways. I do have a lot of extra stuff here, so from time to time I do some giveaways. Make sure you tune into our podcast, that horror movie podcast, where we do some trivia and we do giveaways. So, like I said, go to Instagram. That Halloween movie collector on Instagram. I'll drop a link right here. It's also in the description. And if you see anything in my collection you'd like to do some, like a highlight video on, I'd be happy to do it. So don't be shy. Be sure to jump in the community tab on here. Post some interesting things that maybe from your collection, your Halloween collection. Love to see videos or pictures of that. So don't be shy and be sure to post in the community tab in the description of this video. Okay, folks. So until the next time I do a next one, I'm going to walk around the Halloween room, try to figure out something cool to do for the next one. And until then, I'll talk to you soon.